Hello, my name is Michael Jones Bay, Executive Director for the Empire State Development Corporation's Division of Minority and Women's Business Development. I want to welcome you to our program entitled Small Business Opportunities in SUNY Procurement, a program for small, minority, and women-owned businesses. This video has been produced by the New York State Small Business Development Centers in cooperation with the Empire State Development Corporation and the State University of New York. The Small Business Development Centers and Empire State Development Corporation have long been advocates for the advancement of small business interests in New York, especially the interest of small, minority, and women-owned businesses. As our motto says, New York loves small business. Today's program is designed to help your small business sell goods and services to the New York State University system. To do this well, you need to understand and apply the rules of the road so you can compete successfully in this multi-million-dollar market. Here to guide you through the process is the host of our video, Laura Scott.
Are you part of an established New York business that's interested in expanding into a new market? New York State's SUNY system may be just one of those new markets. You can expand your business by contracting with New York State offices, including the Office of General Services, or OGS, and the vast network of State University of New York, or SUNY. Whether or not you're aware of the process for doing business with New York State, or just need a refresher, this program is for you. Hello. My name is Laura Scott, your host for Small Business Opportunities in SUNY Procurement, a program for small, minority, and women business owners who would like to know more about purchasing and contracting opportunities with SUNY. This program will take you step by step through the procurement process when working with SUNY purchasing officials. Many of the procedures and regulations in this program also apply to other purchasing agencies in New York State. Be aware, though, that not every agency or department is the same. Therefore, we'll need to provide a special focus, specifically on those procedures and rules of the road that certainly only apply to the SUNY system. After this presentation, please refer to our website at this address. Also, keep in mind that we are directing this presentation to the needs of small business enterprises, or SBEs, and emphasizing minority and women-owned business enterprises, or MWBEs. You should be aware that the content of this program might not apply to large firms and firms outside the SMWBE definition doing business in New York State. The process of doing business with any state institution can be complex and challenging, but we will try to present this in an understandable fashion. Let's begin by looking at the SUNY system and understand the market. What is SUNY? Where is SUNY located? The following charts will help explain some major points. What is SUNY? Let's start with some fast facts. This data is taken from January of 2008. The 64 campuses blanket the state from Buffalo to Long Island and from Binghamton to Plattsburgh. SUNY has 427,398 students from every county in New York, every state in the U.S., and from more than 160 foreign countries. Total enrollment at SUNY campuses has grown in the last 5 years from more than 409,000 to over 427,000. The University of Buffalo is the largest school in the system with more than 28,000 students, comparable to a small city that operates independently. The total SUNY budget is more than $10 billion. A large part of this budget is spent procuring goods and services from businesses both large and small. And for every state dollar given to SUNY by the state of New York, which totals $3.5 billion in total, SUNY generates an additional $8 in spending within New York State. This means that for every dollar taxpayers give to SUNY, $8 is spent in the state of New York. The 2007-2008 budget of $10 billion yields an estimated total economic impact of $27.5 billion in the state's economy. Some of those dollars find their way into your community and can impact your business if you know how to sell to SUNY and New York State. Let's talk with Darren Price of Right Price Companies from Syracuse, New York.
Hello, I'm Darren Price, CEO of Right Price Companies. We are a certified women minority business enterprise. My wife, Paris, is the president of Right Price Companies. We were able to supply furniture to SUNY Upstate Medical University, and this is one of the projects that we're fortunate enough to work on at Setner Hall, and we are working on developing a relationship throughout the entire SUNY system. I would say that the certification process is definitely worth the effort due to the volume of business that we have received over the last year or so. It has really made it worth it. It was slow starting out, but now that we're doing business, I can see the value of being a certified MWBE. My advice for other small businesses, MWBEs, WMBEs, that would like to do business with the SUNY system is, first of all, you have to market. You have to go to matchmakers. You have to meet the purchasers because you want to build the relationships. And you also have to remember that there's a lot of business inside of the SUNY system, but we have to be the professionals that are coming in to compete, to get the business, to earn the business, so we can stay in there.
What do students, faculty, and staff need? A student body, as you might expect, travels on its stomach. How many calories a day does a 240-pound fullback need? Or how many gallons of vitamin water can give a cross-country runner all the energy she needs to be ranked #1 in SUNY? Your business might be able to provide transportation, such as vans or buses, to take athletes to away games, bandages to help heal an injury, dry cleaning of uniforms, and sports equipment for training NCAA champions. Just a quick rundown of goods and services would include computers, hardware, papers, pens, pencils, office and dormitory furniture, cleaning and laundry equipment, motor vehicles, buses, sporting goods, groundskeeping, construction and architectural services, educational supplies, medical services, therapy and counseling, research, insurance, financial services, security and alarm systems, just to name a few. Now, suppose you do have a product or service that you can supply in large quantity or on a specific timetable to a SUNY campus. Where do you start? What's the key to open the door to procurement success? What is SUNY procurement? The SUNY Purchasing Association states that the university's basic procurement objective is to secure the most appropriate materials, supplies, equipment, and services from the most reasonable and responsible source, consistent with quality requirements and delivery needs as will best promote the interests of the university. The practice of competitive bidding, whether formal, sealed bids or proposals, or informal quotes, not only tends to assure reasonable prices, but also guards against favoritism and fraud, and should therefore be used to the extent practicable. Furthermore, SUNY policy states, it is the university's policy to take affirmative action to ensure that New York State certified minority and women-owned businesses, or MWBEs, are given the opportunity to demonstrate their ability to provide the university with commodities and services at competitive prices. This presentation will be provided in 3 parts. Part 1, Getting Ready, an outline of the key definitions and requirements. Part 2, Taking Aim, locating a bid and purchase opportunities. Part 3, Shooting for Success, a list of resources to help you succeed, including a list of definitions, state agencies, and offices where you can obtain further information. Part 1, Getting Ready. In this section, we'll discuss the following: the definition of a small business, the definition of a certified MWBE and how to become certified, preferred sources, purchases from $1 to $125,000 plus, the exemption from competitive bidding requirements, the notification process, responsible offers, and formal versus informal bids. Number 1, the definition of a small business. For New York State, We are talking about firms with 1 to 100 employees and up to $750,000 in net worth. What is the definition of a certified MWBE? A minority business enterprise, or MBE, is a business enterprise in which at least 51% is owned by citizens or permanent resident aliens who are Black persons having origins in any of the Black African racial groups, Hispanic persons of Mexican, Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban, Central or South American descent of either Indian or Hispanic origin, regardless of race. Asian and Pacific Islander persons having origins in the Far East countries, Southeast Asia, the Indian subcontinent, or the Pacific Islands, or Native American or Alaskan Native persons having origins in any of the original peoples of North America. Women-owned business enterprises, or WBEs. These are firms which are 51% owned by citizens or permanent resident aliens who are women. Now, let's hear from Ailita Labar of RGL Incorporated from Binghamton, New York.
Hi, I'm Ailita Labar from RGL Incorporated. We're at SUNY Cortland. We've been in business since 1989. We average between 8 and 25 men. It depends on our workload for the year. We went through the WBE certification process with the Small Business Development Center. They helped us get our certification and help us fill out our application. They were a lot of help. They were great to work with. It took me about 2 years to get certified, but it was worth the effort. For SUNY Cortland, for the last 10 years, doing a lot of different sub work for different contractors, mostly all sidewalks with some stamping. We've also worked for SUNY Binghamton doing sidewalks at their schools and some curb. And also SUNY Oneonta, we've done a lot of stamp projects up at that campus, and all of the SUNYs have been great to work for. From my own experience, if you're a WBE that is looking to be certified, one, I would go through the Small Business Development Center for any help you might need, and you can get on a list that will help you be able to know when bids are coming out for different projects. The Small Business Development Center can point you in the right direction for that. I would recommend anybody to work for the SUNY schools. They're good to work for. They just want a job well done. And if you're qualified to do the work, I would recommend that you work for them.
Why should you get certified as an MWBE? State government has been mandated by the governor and the legislature to provide greater opportunity for participation by MWBEs in state contracting. Certification gives business owners an advantage when marketing goods or services to state agencies with authorities. New York State certification affords your business the opportunity to be listed in the state's official directory of certified minority and women-owned business enterprises. The state agencies and most of the prime contractors who do business with the state, as well as many other corporations, use this directory as the primary source for identifying bona fide MBEs and WBEs for participation in state procurement. The directory is available to the public via the Empire State Development website at this address. Certification also allows a business the advantage of accessing a variety of loan and bonding programs, as well as programs that provide technical assistance such as the SBDC, the New York State Small Business Development Centers. These programs were specifically developed for historically underutilized businesses that participate in the MWBE program. Upon certification, you will also receive further information about doing business with New York State to assist you in marketing your business to agencies. Remember, certification is your ticket to success. Who certifies MWBEs? Certification is obtained through the Governor's Office of Minority and Women's Business Development, which is a division of the Department of Economic Development. Among other functions, the Division of Minority and Women's Business Development is responsible for implementing a uniform, statewide certification program. Who's eligible for certification? An ongoing independent business, owned, operated, and controlled by minority group members and/or women is eligible. The ownership must be real, substantial, and continuing. The ownership interest must have and exercise the authority to independently control the business decisions of the enterprise. Generally, the business should have been in operation for at least 1 year. How does the certification process work? 1. Request an application from the Albany or the New York City office of the New York State Office of Economic Development. Complete it and return it to your SBDC office or directly to the Office of Economic Development. If you need help completing the application, call the New York City office at 212-803-2414 or the Albany office at 518-292-5250. Your SBDC advisor can also assist you with your application. 2. Upon receipt of the completed application, the process of verification of the information on the application begins. They may ask you for clarification or for additional information. 3. An interview is conducted by a member of the New York State Department of Economic Development certification staff. It takes place at your place of business or by phone. 4. An analysis of your application, documents, and the interview is made, and a determination to grant or deny MBE or WBE status is made. 5. Your firm is notified of the decision, certified, denied, or rejected. 6. If your firm is denied, you have the opportunity to appeal the decision to an administrative law judge. If your firm is rejected, it generally means we are unable to process your application due to missing information. Procurement by preferred sources. Certain vendors or suppliers who represent MWBE or industries that employ disabled or blind workers can be declared preferred sources. Under New York State Finance Law and New York State Corrections Law, preferred sources must be considered whenever purchases of commodities or services are required. Examples of preferred sources are Industries for the Blind of New York State Industries for the Disabled, and the New York State Office of Mental Health. Preference is given to preferred sources in the following order: Corecraft, inmates employed in the correctional industries by the New York State Correctional System. Please see the following website for specific information. Bid opportunities for Corecraft are also advertised in the New York State Contract Reporter. Industries for the Blind. These can include recycled supplies and items specifically designed for government personnel, such as police forces. Industries for the Disabled, NYSID, the New York Office of Mental Health, OMH, and qualified veterans workshops. Purchases and contracts up to $125,000. For purchases up to $50,000, no competition is required. A SUNY campus can purchase commodities or services directly from a responsible vendor if prices are determined to be reasonable. A responsible vendor is a supplier who has complied with all bid requirements and otherwise has the credit, capacity, and capability to complete the contract in a timely fashion. Purchases from $50,000 to $125,000. A campus must solicit 3 informal quotes or proposals from responsible vendors. Purchases over $125,000. A campus must solicit 5 formal sealed bids or proposals from responsible vendors. Exemption from competitive bidding requirements. Where a preferred source is used to obtain commodities or services, no competitive selection process or publication in the contract reporter is required. The contract reporter is the official source for New York State contract opportunities. If a preferred source is rejected, that source must be given prior written notice with an explanation and an opportunity to respond. All other procurements must be competitive, and contract reporter notification is still required for SUNY procurements over $20,000. Now, let's go to Patty Hines of Perfezione Painting from Port Ewan, New York.
Hi, I'm Patty Hines from Perfezione Painting Corp. I've been in business now for the past 3 years. They said I could go ahead and bid on a WBE project, and I did at SUNY New Paltz. And that was my big, it's the summer residential project of the 3 dorms. I'm so excited, I'm so happy that I did make that big jump in my life. Faxes come in every day to my office, either on SUNY project. I'm presently going to be doing Sullivan Prison, that is a WBE project. What made it all possible for this to happen is I went to the Small Business Development Center and spoke to Al Griggs for a line of credit. They thought I needed help getting certified with my WBE. If it wasn't for Al Griggs having the contact at Mid-Hudson Valley Credit Union, Dave Wright, it would have never been possible. Our goal is to make our first $1 million in the first year, and we're almost there.
Centralized state contracts. A campus can purchase any commodities or services, for example, fuel oil or college catalogs, regardless of amount from an existing OGS centralized state contract following the procedures and requirements established by OGS for SUNY. By the way, your business can also be a supplier of goods and services to OGS. Recycled goods. If recycled commodities are available from certified SWMBEs, purchases can be made without competitive bidding if the amounts do not exceed $125,000. Recycled or remanufactured purchases. Where commodities or services are available from small businesses or New York State certified MWBEs, or where commodities or technology that is recycled or remanufactured is available, a SUNY center can purchase from you in amounts not exceeding $125,000 without competitive bidding. Sole source emergency services. Where competition is required but not feasible due to the sole source or emergency nature of a commodity or service, the campus must maintain its written justification supporting its selection and reasonableness of price. For example, SUNY campus might solicit a commodity or service in the contract reporter, but receives only 1 bid. Emergency purchases require verbal approval from a campus senior officer and must be subsequently approved in writing by the Office of State Contracts, or OSC. What is the notification process? Here are the publishing requirements that procurement personnel must follow for various types and levels of contracts. We have already mentioned the contract reporter, and you will hear more about the contract reporter later in this presentation. This table shows the conditions under which contracts must be published in the contract reporter. Preferred sources. No publication is required at any dollar level. Purchases less than $10,000. No publication is required. $10,000 to $20,000. The agency is required to issue a quarterly publication of a list of projected procurements by commodity and/or service. $20,000 and above. A notice for each proposed procurement must be published at least 15 business days in advance. These are the processes that procurement officials must use depending on the size and type of contract. Once again, exemptions apply to purchases from preferred sources, small business purchases less than $125,000, New York State certified MWBE purchases less than $125,000, recycled or remanufactured purchases less than $125,000, and emergency situations. Energy efficiency. Campuses must purchase energy-efficient commodities, that is Energy Star certified, when acquiring new energy-using products or replacing existing equipment. Note the following rules. For 2008 to 2009, 50% of new light-duty vehicles acquired by each campus must be alternative-fueled vehicles. In 2010, 100% of all new light-duty vehicles must be alternative-fueled vehicles. Determining responsible offers. Contracts for services and commodities will be awarded to a responsive and responsible offerer. The agency must include in the procurement record certification that it has reasonable assurances that the contractor is responsible and include documentation for this determination. The terms responsive and responsible have specific and separate meanings when applied to government contracts. The term responsive means that the vendor has complied with all the regulations, terms, and conditions of the current bid, contract, or proposal. A vendor can be responsive on one bid, but non-responsive on another. As we mentioned earlier, the term responsible refers to the vendor's credit, capacity, and capability to complete contracts as required. To determine if a vendor is responsible, the agency may require the vendor to complete a vendor responsibility questionnaire, if appropriate, or a vendor responsibility profile. Contract work cannot begin until all necessary approvals are received. State employees can be held liable for violating this rule. Prompt payment to vendors. Let's face it, all businesses are concerned about getting paid in full and on time. There is a general belief that all government agencies are slow to pay. In the past, there was some truth to this, but today this is mostly a myth. The prompt payment law was enacted in order to ensure that providers of goods and services to the state of New York are paid in a prompt and timely manner. Subject to certain exceptions, payments must be made within 30 calendar days, excluding legal holidays, after receipt of a proper invoice, or in the case of final payments on highway construction contracts, 75 calendar days, excluding legal holidays. The state agency must notify the contractor within 15 days of receipt of an invoice of any defects in the goods or services or any suspected improprieties of any kind. The existence of any defects or improprieties suspends the commencement of the time period for payment. If payment is not made within the specified time period, the state agency must make an interest payment to the contractor, that's you, on the total amount due. Part 2 of our program deals with locating bid and purchase opportunities. The Contract Reporter. New York State bid opportunities are advertised in the New York State Contract Reporter, which is available only by subscription. Vendors can subscribe online by going to the following address: www.nyscr.org. There, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial of the service. At that point, you can sign up for the service for a low annual fee. This site has simple-to-use tutorials that can guide you through the process of using the Contract Reporter. Bidders List. All campuses have a purchasing associate who can utilize the bidders list for locating potential bidders. You must contact each campus individually to register your firm on the bidders list. To get on the Office of General Services mailing list to receive OGS bid notices, go to the following website. Personal contact. Just like any business, SUNY purchasing associates want to know with whom they are doing business. If your goods or services are purchased directly by the campus or center, make it a point to visit the contracting office and meet the purchasing associate or director. Please see our website for a complete list of campuses and their respective contracting offices. Part 3. Resources available to the bidder. In this part, you will learn about the many other resources that are available to help you through the learning process. Don't be concerned about writing all of this down. All you have to do is visit the host website where you started this video and look for the resources section. Minority certification and MWBE opportunities. To obtain information on becoming certified in New York State as a minority or woman-owned business, contact the Department of Economic Development's Division of Minority and Women's Business Development. Their addresses in Albany and the upstate area are 30 South Pearl Street on the 2nd floor, Albany, New York, 12245. Their phone number is area code 518-292-5250. In the New York City area, they're located at 633 3rd Avenue, New York, New York, 10017-6706. They can be reached by phone at area code 212-803-2411, or you can fax them at 212-803-3499. 3223. To learn more about MWBE opportunities in New York State, visit the Empire State Development homepage at www.empire.state.ny.us. To see the Empire State Development's Minority and Women's Business Directory on the Internet, go to the website that you see on your screen. Minority and women-owned business enterprises in need of other information or assistance are encouraged to contact the Office of MWBE and Community Outreach. The Office of MWBE and Community Outreach is located in the Corning Tower on the 41st floor in the Empire State Plaza, Albany, New York. For immediate assistance, call the following numbers: area code 518-486-9284, or you can fax at area code 518-486-9285. The New York State Small Business Development Centers. The State University supports economic development in New York State in numerous ways. One important service is your local Small Business Development Center, helping to reach into neighborhoods and communities throughout New York State to support economic development. The SBDC network is located on 23 State University campuses from Long Island to Lake Erie and on campuses of our higher education partners. Contact the SBDC nearest you for business assistance for existing and startup firms. Go to www.nyssbdc.org, or you can call 1-800-732-SBDC. Empire State Development's Procurement Assistance Unit. This agency can help your business compete for state contracts, provide information to get you placed on agency bidders lists, provide current lists of subcontractors and suppliers, and help you with the bid process. Call the following number, area code 518-292-5200 for more information. Construction contracting opportunities. SUNY has its own separate construction contracting office. Firms interested in construction should contact the State University Construction Fund. State University Construction Fund awards are made through a competitive bid process. SUCF's bid submission requirements are included in project specifications. The construction bid calendar is publicly advertised to encourage more bidding activity. Go to the following website or call area code 866-543-8107 for more information. Construction firms should also consider subscribing to the Office of General Services Design and Construction Group's publication, The Empire State Builder. There, you can learn about building construction, rehabilitation, architectural, and engineering contracts at many state agency locations. The Empire State Builder announces future bid openings and provides the results of previous bid openings. Address inquiries to the Office of General Services, Design and Construction Group, Marketing Unit, located in the Corning Tower, on the 35th floor, the Empire State Plaza in Albany, New York. Or you can go to the following website, www.ogs.state.ny.us/DNC. To find direct sales opportunities for state agencies and many public benefit corporations and public authorities, contact state agencies directly. View the Office for Technology's telephone directory at the following website. Or contact the Office for Technology, Division of Telecommunications, Directory Sales in Empire State Plaza, Corning Towers, the 27th floor in Albany, New York. Preferred Sources Laws. Preferred sources must be considered whenever purchases of commodities or services are required. These sources can be found in the New York State Finance Law, subsection 162, and State Corrections Law, subsection 184. Other helpful websites are as follows: For more information about the procurement contracting services in New York State, you can go to the Office of General Services located at www.ogs.state.ny.us.
Oh, absolutely worth it. I would do it again. I would recommend it to anybody. I would recommend anybody to go to Small Business Development Center for help. They can direct you every way on how to start out with your business.
You really do need both the qualification and the certification to do work at the SUNY schools.
The people at the Small Business Development Center were excellent. They were a very big help, and they're easy to communicate with.
And I've even secured national contracts with national companies purely from being certified woman-owned.
Becoming a New York State certified woman-owned business, it's been a great experience. Thank you for watching Small Business Opportunities in SUNY Procurement, a program for small, minority, and women-owned businesses. We hope that this brief program has helped you to get started doing business with the State University of New York. From here, we recommend that you go to our resource pages, which can be found on this website, or the resources section of our partners' websites to find further information about the topics discussed in this video. These resources will help to ensure your success in this new and profitable market. And remember, the 3 most important rules in doing business with any government agency: prepare, persist, provide a quality product or service. On behalf of the New York State Small Business Development Centers and Empire State Development, I'm your host, Laura Scott, wishing you the best of success in your business endeavors.